Hello and welcome to Sterling Gamer with me, Sterling, and welcome to an analysis of the Tears of the Kingdom any percent world record speedrun by Vivoxe on May 22nd, 2023. So this is a little over a week since the game came out, and this is the current world record, and I'm going to go in, explain all the big tricks, explain the routes and all that, and I want this to kind of be a baseline, so if you want to get into the speedrun, this video, or other side, this video is a good baseline. So again, this run is by Vivoxe. Thank you for permission to use your run in the video. So here we go. Let me just make sure it's decent quality. So the run starts with as soon as he says new game and start with it. Pretty sure. The loading screens are pretty bad. We will see. So yeah, watch the timer. And it goes. Right, so then he just goes through like 8 minutes or so of unskippable playable cutscenes. Like Zelda's going. Tries to optimize it as much as possible. Run through, jump at different parts to just get a little bit more movement. And by the way, we will have spoilers. This is a complete speedrun of the game. But I will put a warning before we get to the major stuff at the end of the game, so you can watch at least the beginning of it if you are not finished yet. So we finish up with that part. And we're on the Great Sky Islands. This is essentially the Great Plateau, and like Breath of the Wild, there are so many checks to make sure we do this. We cannot skip this as much as we try. People have been trying since 2017 to skip the Great Plateau. It's the exact same thing. This is unskippable. So we're gonna have to do 4 shrines around the Sky Island, and almost all of our tricks from Breath of the Wild have been patched, which is a shame. Most obviously, whistle sprinting. One of the most basic glitches in Breath of the Wild just lets you sprint at 80% the speed while regaining stamina. So it's efficient to run until you're almost out, and then whistle sprint. You're almost as fast, but you're regaining stamina, so you can go just as fast as you can. That's been patched out. In fact, they punish you for trying. So you'll see he has really good stamina management. And that is going to persist through the entire game. I've not actually seen this run. I watched their old world record, because Vivoxe beat themselves for the world record. But this one is no paraglider skip, which saves quite a bit of time, because unlike Breath of the Wild, where you get the paraglider as soon as you finish up the tutorial area, in this game, you get the paraglider after a short quest line once you get to the surface. And that takes a lot of time. So this skips it. And that makes the run so much harder. But we skip it. It's not... We don't want that. Great establishing shots. And so this is where the speedrun really gets interesting. It's not just running efficiently anymore. All our movement glitches are gone. We can't win bomb because we don't have bombs. We can't BLSS. We can't even BTB. And you don't need to worry about what those are. You know, if you know, you know. If not, they were patched anyway, so it's fine. But those were how we got around Breath of the Wild speedruns. And that's not a thing. We do have some movement glitches, but most of them are very niche in not super fast for horizontal movement, which is what we really need. So we're going as efficient as we can down. And the Great Sky Island. So there's 3 shrines. You go do them. You're gonna have to go to the Temple of Time. And then he's like, oh, you need to go do a 4th. So we pick up this tree branch, because while we are on the Great Sky Island, we're gonna need some Zonite charges from some of the enemies here for a trick later. So we talk to this guy. We have a bit of dialogue, but we get the Puripad, which is it's just the Sheikah Slate minus the runes. So it gives us the map and our warp functionality, though we don't have warps right away. We get those later on this island. It gives us camera, and we're not really going to be using any of that except for the warps when we get them. But this is required, so we can do that and progress. So we got that's pad. I'm not sure if it's possible to skip this, but we need it. It saves more time than it loses in this cutscene. And you see, we're 10 minutes in, and it has a slow start, but we quickly get rolling. So that's the Temple of Time. That's where we'll be exiting. We'll be going there initially, once we get all three... No, we won't actually be going there initially. What am I saying? Okay, so here's a cool trick. I was actually experimenting with this myself. It is hard. This is really impressive. It's where you have to jump any way other than forward. It doesn't work forward, so he did backwards. You then slash with a weapon, in this case the Broken Master Sword. Skydive cancel. So it's actually skydive cancel slash. And if you do it in the right timing, which again is really hard to do, then you can get quite a bit of movement to skip some stuff. So we come here. That's unfortunate that we grabbed the horn, but we grabbed the charges. And now that we have the horn, we can easily pick it up without having to worry about that. It's unfortunate. We don't need any of that food. So we run initial time. Once we get the first 3 shrines, and then once we get the last one to exit. And this will be about half of the run. Is just this tutorial area. So we have another guy. Shatter's shield. We want that shield. Because with the game being so new, there are not a ton of glitches that we use in the speedrun. There are some glitches, no doubt. But most of them are unused. So now we're supposed to have like a couple minutes of cutscenes to explain this story. We don't care. Thankfully we're able to skip a lot of the just visual cutscenes. So we don't need that guy. There are more efficient charges around, like the 2 that we killed with the boulder. And now we're going. Now it points you towards that's right over there, or over here I guess, 'cause I'm near the Ultra Hand shrine first. There's just a little optimization, shield surf to get a little more distance. And then up. It points us towards that one first, but that's actually the one we're doing last. If the route's the same as the other one, because again, I have not watched this one. I watched the old world record. So currently, Link has no abilities, nothing. He's just stock Link, which is gonna make traversing kind of hard. So coming over here, and we'll get an item that will allow us to use machines to traverse. So as that guy's dying, we don't want to wait for that animation. We grab some spicy peppers because we're going to a snowy area. Because Great Skyland is laid out very similarly to the Great Plateau. It actually kind of annoys me. It's one of my least favorite parts of the game because this game is great. It's probably my favorite game of all time. But I'm not a fan of the Great Skyland just because it's just the Great Plateau again. In my opinion, not as good. So we go up here, and we have cold resistance, so this cold area is nothing to us. Shield surf because it's faster. And now talk to this guy, and you see he's got a bunch of fans around him. He's like, hey, you want to use some Zonai devices? Oh, here's some Zonai devices, but you need an energy cell. Here you go. So now we can use machines. And we're not actually going to use a lot of machines. We're going to use this one to cross the water. Don't know why he switched to the Master Sword. And normally that water would kill us if we went in it, so it's faster to go through that talking and get that. Uh, so the first three shrines we kind of do in the opposite order of what most people do, including me, in my casual run. And yeah, as I was saying earlier, there are glitches, but there's not a ton of them that we use in the speedrun. We have some optimizations like the shield, surf. Later we'll have some duplication glitches. For the most part, that's it. Unless they've routed in some new ones. But I don't see how any of our current glitches could save too much time. But we're working on it. Like, we just found a brand new duplication glitch the day that this speedrun was recorded, so I'm not actually sure if it uses the faster duplication glitch. Yeah, we have multiple. So here's a little cool thing. Your last bit of stamina for a jump is twice as big as a regular one. So, you use it up to the end, and then you can jump twice as far. And now, you notice he's out of stamina, so even his walking is horribly slow, so he held out his shield. And that is faster than slow walking. Holding out your shield is like 30% faster, I believe. It's not much, but if you mess up your stamina management, or a point like that where you run out of stamina climbing, you want to hold out your shield until your stamina is regenerated. It saves very little time, but as a speedrun, you want to save as much time as you can. So here's the first of our shrines, and the first one we have to see the opening cutscene to, but then all the others we can skip, which is very good because we will be collecting 4 others in this run. So this one we get the Ascend ability, and it's going to be, oh look, this guy that we've never seen because we skipped all the cutscenes. Oh, so we made it here. Where's here? Our hand. Oh yeah, I guess it is all messed up. Didn't even notice. And we have an ability. Unlike Breath of the Wild where you have to go to a terminal and get it, this game, it just gives it to you as soon as you step in. Because Nintendo knew that this is going to be more broken. So like, you know, no, you don't even get a chance to go through without getting all the abilities. Not that we would anyway, because we do make use of every ability in the run, at least somewhat. And you have to do all the shrines to get all the Lights of Blessing. So Ascend is a fairly straightforward ability. You could go up. It has a very limited range, but once you're in something, you could go up infinitely. There is no known limit. And so, you also have to be like a fairly flat surface with an area. Oh, that's why I switched to the Master Sword earlier. It's optimization so you can cut that, of course. Because you can't cut that with a stick. Now here's a cycle that it's horrible. It's like, get up. You just kind of have to wait a second. It's a cycle. But if you can find a spot that you can ascend through, you can go up until you get to the top of whatever. So we actually use that later in the run to skip some pathways and climbing. In like the first shrine cutscene, you have to watch the first shrine ending cutscene with the weird sound effects that sound like they were edited in and not originally in it. And we got the power. So this acts just like a spirit orb. Get 4 of them, you can get a new heart or stamina. We're forced to get a new heart because of how the story structure is. They force your first upgrade to be a heart. Even if a stamina would actually be more useful. Or even more useful, skipping it. But, you know, we do what we have to do. If it forces us to do that, we do it. So we'll be seeing that 3 more times, but we'll be getting 4 other shrines, because there's one that we get just for the teleportation later. So now we're going to come out, and I'm pretty sure that ghosty guy, Raru, his name is going to talk to us. Yeah, here he is. He's like, hey, look, you did it. Now go to the others. Yeah, you got your scope, And that's it. It's like, you want to give me teleportation? Yeah. No. So now we are going to come over here. And now we can ascend through this. Which is not only a good route that we want to be going, but we need to pick something up over here. So I'm pretty sure there's a ruby in that chest, but we don't care. We're just going to grab the charge. And you see this capsule machine. This is why we've been collecting charges. Because these capsules, you put anything Zonai in, and it'll give you machines. And you put charges in, and it's extra effective. So we put in the 4 charges that we've collected, and a horn just for an extra 1 machine. And you can get different materials and different ones, but we are after... Oh no, there's only 1 wing. Oh, that is some bad RNG. You want 2, ideally. And so, he's gonna duplicate it. But he's duplicating the frogs. He duplicated... Oh! Okay, so, in the route before, we would go out of our way to get, rush rooms to cook up into meals that make us run faster. But he just collected 1 hot-footed frog, which does the same thing, and duplicated it enough. Oh, that is genius. So anyway, we use the 1 wing that we did get, because you want 2. We'll use the one that we did get to come over here. And normally it took me like an hour to go between tribes, because I just kept finding stuff and like experimenting with the building. Not here. We just glide straight to the next one after we got what we needed. But that duplication trick he was doing is now outdated. That one is very efficient and fast, so he's using a faster one than the older route. But it is not yet the most efficient. There was one found probably as this run was being done that is easier and faster. That lets us duplicate anywhere, anytime, any material for free. But that duplication glitch, you paraglider or shield surf. He doesn't have the paraglider, so shield surf. And while you're in midair like that, you hold an item that you only have 1 of, and then items you want to duplicate. And it's actually transmutation if you have a bunch of items. Because it'll always turn whatever's to the right of what you picked into the first thing. So if I have diamonds and then rubies in my inventory and I try to duplicate the diamonds, it actually just turns rubies into diamonds. But if it's the last item in your inventory, so it's at the very end and there's nothing to the right of it, you get infinite. You can just duplicate it for free. Since then, we have found a way to skip the item that you only have 1 of, and the transmutation, so we just get infinite. So here, we got Fuse, which lets us put things onto weapons. So we made a basic rock hammer to get through that, and a later one. We get fire fruits, because these things will actually be useful later. You just throw one of these, and you throw one or put it on an arrow or whatever, and it will put fire where it lands. So we burned down a chest here. That's exactly where it's going to be. Not first bound, sadly. And it's a key, so we could continue the shrine. There are other areas that are supposed to show it off better, but like, we don't care. We're just grabbing the fire fruits for a later fight, and continuing. There's like a chest up there. Nobody cares. Use the key. Don't know why the pause was there. We'll have some enemies here. And this is an enemy that can use Fuse itself. It just fuses rocks in this fight. But later in the game, you'll find ones in shrines that fuse like flamethrowers and stuff. And these are interesting enemies. Thing is, you don't have to fight it. Literally all we need is our rock hammer that we made earlier, and we can just finish. It's kind of cool. So, we get this shrine, and you'll see, skip. We got the second out of 4. Now you see, that split was in the red. So you look at his splits over here, I'm pretty sure. and there's a green, a yellow, and a red. Green means you're saving time over average. Yellow means it's your new best time for that split. And red means that you're losing time. So, the Vivoxe saved some time, saved a ton of time, and then lost some time. But, doesn't matter. Still world record with the new routes. So we still do go down here, but we're not going out of the way for the restrooms. Okay. So there are restrooms all along these walls, and we used to go out of our way to get them all. But now we're just using it as a shortcut. These are slow. It's not necessary anymore. Because we duplicated the frogs, and those act as the mushrooms. I guess it's faster to duplicate the frogs a few times than to grab those mushrooms. Interesting. So come over here, and instead of going around on a path, we have Ascend. And this is the power of Ascend. Skip overworld puzzles. Like you're supposed to make a machine over there and cross the water. No, we just Ascend. And we can't warp yet. Like I said. We get that after we get the... After we go to the Temple of Time for the second out of 3 times. We've only been once. So we come over here. The next shrine's over there. But first we gotta cook. So we have the frogs and a jelly. And that creates an elixir. A speed up 3 elixir. So, elixir parts like insects and stuff mixed with monster parts creates elixirs. So we have some more arrows here. And elixirs are just kind of give you an effect. There are elixirs that give you health too, but those aren't typical. Wait, where did we get this other wing? I thought we only had 1. Interesting. I missed that. I thought we only had 1 wing. So we come over here. It's faster than going around doing the puzzles with the floating blocks. We just wing over and do that. And we can place Zonai machines like that wing anywhere we want. But I'm pretty sure that wings are the only ones we use in this run. Okay. Third shrine, and this one gives us Ultra Hand, which is like Magnesis from the first game, allowing us to pick stuff up and move it. But we can also stick things together to build stuff. We won't really be doing that. I don't think we stick a single thing together in this entire shrine. We just pick things up. So we get our last ability. And then I don't think we ever make any machines in the run. We use the one when we first got the energy cell to cross the water. But that's it. So yeah, this is some very optimized gameplay from hours of work by dozens of people to make this route. Super impressive. Yeah, it's done in sub hour 15. I think with our current route and understanding of the game, I don't think sub hour is possible, but I do believe we'll be finding further glitches which will make sub hour. Because I don't think we can just optimize current gameplay to shave off 15 minutes. But if we have a glitch that lets us skip stuff, then I very much think that's possible. Because Breath of the Wild was taken down from hours down to like 23 minutes. So yeah, we were supposed to build a rack there to go down that rail. We don't. We just move over slabs so that we can climb up. And then we do a feature where you can shield surf on rails and you grind it like if it's a Sonic game. I love that feature. It's so cool. So now, Roro appears again and he's like, hey, you got the abilities. Go Temple of Time. We're like, yeah, alright. Now, I remember when I played, the Temple of Time climb was annoying because you had to, like, go up some, destroyed bridges and climb. It was just slow. I didn't realize that there was this platform that jutted out that you could just ascend through. So you saw when it was red, you can't ascend. Wow, that is a 20... I didn't even notice. Look at the splits. That is a 27 second time save as a new personal best for that split. Immediately following a 10-second time loss. That is crazy. So now we can unlock this now that we have all the abilities. And we get our last ability right here. We don't actually get it in the last shrine. This is a secret stone, a tier of the kingdom, if you will. Of time manipulation. There's a whole thing in the story with, someone who's able to control time having that, and we're just skipping it all. And what's cool is we get the ability in the cutscene. We don't have to wait for the power to go into our hand. We just have it as soon as the cutscene's over. And look at that, last ability. Roar's here, and he's like, hey, look, you got recall. Cool. So recall lets us reverse time. Of any object that has momentum. So you see these wheels spinning? We could reverse them so they spin at the same speed in the opposite direction. Or, you know, you just don't. And we try to open this door, and you're supposed to, like, push it, and you don't have enough vitality to do it. You don't have enough health. But we can just exit out, and it counts as if we did. And so it's like, oh, you need extra vitality. Well, there is this goddess statue, and you can give the lights that you've been collecting to it, but you need a fourth. So here, let me give you warp so you can go back and find one you couldn't get to earlier. And that's the area that we started with when we woke up, got the Broken Master Sword right after the cutscenes. So we're going to warp right over. And what's interesting is now we have our abilities. We can ascend. And this was such a cool moment. It's like, oh, essentially the Shrine of Resurrection area. We're just ascending right through. Yeah, you could do that. Well, he fumbled there with the abilities a bit. That's fine. You could do that, or you could just ascend right there. And be here, because you're supposed to go, like, out and then back in. Nah, it's faster. And our last shrine. And this shrine is designed around recall, despite it's not getting recall in it. And this will also show off something really cool with recall. It's unlike stasis, and all the runes, really, from Breath of the Wild. Recall, once you stop using it, there's no cooldown. You could just use it again. It's really cool. I always got really annoyed by the cooldown. Oh, they're so fast they have to wait for that cycle. The past one was slow enough that when you got there, it would be just perfect. You could recall that, because you have to get those two things to overlap and go with each other, so you just have one turn in the opposite direction. 42-second time save. Wow. Okay. So now, we got all the lights. What are they doing? This is where you're supposed to go. We get in this chest. What's in here? Is this the topaz? No, it's backup wings. Yeah, because we didn't get enough wings earlier. Okay. I didn't know that backup was there. That's good to know. Because we'll need 2 more wings, unless the third one was rounded in. So, now we're just going back to the Temple of Time for the third and final time. And it's done. But now, there's enemies in the way. And we won't fight any of them. Instead, we're just picking up all the arrows that they've left. These arrows are very precious in this game. And because arrows are the best way to do damage. Because you can fuse any material onto them. That's also how you do the original duplication glitch, which was slow and tedious, and now we don't do it. Because it's horrible. But it's consistent. So now we can turn in our Spirit Orb alternatives. God statue for a heart container, and notice how stamina vessel wasn't even an option. They don't want you to soft lock yourself. Because you need a heart container to get past that door. That's why we need it. Also, can I just say, this animation does not look good. Link's face just looks off for some reason. It looks like a fan animation. Like, not that good one. Alright. Push. 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 I thought that was going to be a more major feature, but I've beaten the game now, and I've only come across one other door like that. I'm pretty sure it was required for main story progression. But then again, main story progression isn't required to beat the game. Breath of the Wild, it was very clear, like, yeah, Ganon's right there. You can go fight him, but you probably don't want to. You probably want to go get the Divine Beast. In this game, it's like, no, you want to go get all the sages. Like, nice skips. You're supposed to go down and go up again. No. This game is like, no, you're gonna go do that. But you don't have to. Ganon's still, he's always in the boss fight area, waiting for you. So, we grab a wing. We don't have a launch spot, so we just leap of faith onto it. Now, you're supposed to dive into some water, because we still don't have the paraglider. You don't actually get it by finishing that. But now we're free to explore Hyrule. So, using the wing, we can direct ourselves towards Lookout Landing, which acts as like a hub for the story. And 34-second time save. Not personal best, but that's still crazy. So there it is, that little box there. But we don't have the paraglider, so how are we going to get down? Well, there is a very small patch of water, like a little moat, around Lookout Landing, and it's pretty narrow. So we're going to make sure that they're lined up. Wait, what's going on? Oh, okay. Guess he had to hit the Central Hyrule Archipelago and land in that thin thing. So now you're supposed to go talk to Pura and, like, cool music. Do this short quest to get the paraglider. We're just running past Pura. Which should save a lot of time. I'm pretty sure I saw that this uses a brand new route that skips the paraglider. Because it takes like a good 15-20 minutes to get the paraglider. So right here we have a very specific chest that has a topaz. And now, the elemental ores like that, the topaz, the ruby, and the sapphire, are good. They have that element in this game for fusing. So you can throw it onto a weapon to have like a, in this case, an electric weapon. You can put it onto a shield to have an electric AoE effect if an enemy hits your shield. Or, so you're not getting the course. You only get the shrines so you can warp back and go to Pura faster, but we don't care. Never mind, we're not getting a 5th shrine. Or you can put it onto an arrow for an absolutely massive damage electric AoE effect. But that is pricey. It's a giant ore that's like 200 rupees. You don't want to just be throwing those around willy-nilly. Well, we're going to be throwing them around. And that's because we can duplicate. Which will allow us to take down a literal army and a few arrow shots. But it gets cool. This is where the run really picks up, because super specific routing, super hard areas. You fight a Lionel. It's wild. But first, no. Okay, we're just grabbing the arrows. So it's like, I thought we go down here. First, we go into the castle. It's not actually necessary to go in here, but there's some stuff that we need, and this is where we're gonna do some setup. So we're gonna get a diamond. And now, we are going to duplicate the diamond, or duplicate the topaz first. Look at that. So, they're stringing together multiple duplications to speed up the topaz dupes. It's crazy. And we now have enough topaz that we can just throw those. In the original route, we would... Oh, that's a bad RNG. In the original route, we would make a diamond saber and fight those guys. Knight's halberd, decent weapon. We're only making one diamond weapon, okay. Are we duplicating the weapon? Yep. Okay. So here, we're doing a duplication of entire sets of gear. And this works across save files, so you can technically do this to get a free Master Sword. Yeah, see? Now there's another one on the floor. And now we have two of these weapons. And now we are duplicating razor shrooms. Broke our shield, but that's fine, we have a spare. And these razor shrooms, when cooked up... Oh. Let's try to get them together. When cooked up, give us food that has us do extra damage. Attack up food. So we're making a few of those so that we have enough for the fight. And we're also making some more speed food because we ran out. Great. So now the setup's done. We just ascend right out of there. And look at that. Super conveniently, we are right next to the chasm. So from this point on, we get to some spoiler territory for where Ganon is, some of the story stuff. If you have not beaten the game, this is your cue to leave. So, this is where you usually need the paraglider. And this is probably the hardest part without it. Because how are we going to stop our fall? Fall damage cancel from Breath of the Wild was patched. We don't have the paraglider. How are we going to stop it? Well, perfectly down here. Watch, watch. I'm just going to let it speak for itself. You grab the wall right at the bottom before you go splat. That was so clean. That was wild how low they went. So we gotta attack up. Ganon is right down here. We're just gonna slidey slide. Ignore all of these hard enemies. So yeah, we could fight them with our diamond weapon. But that's... Oh, yikes. That was unfortunate. That... See, it's hearts. Hearts like that. All enemies in the depths, underground, do gloom damage, meaning they will temporarily remove your hearts. I'm grabbing these because these are good electric weapons, and the eyeball's also homing. And then the wings go further. So it's useful. And here's a Lionel. So we're gonna say... Because, like, you are only on 1 health. Shoot it in the face so it's down, and just beat it with our diamond halberd. The diamond adds 25 damage to whatever it's fused to, and then it was like 6 damage. So that's not great, it's only like 31 damage. But it's a spear, so we can just do absolutely massive DPS. Plus we have attack up. So just destroying this guy is no problem whatsoever. You just have to be somewhat skilled. Look, it's almost broken. Throws it. Oops. Grabs the other. Why was it 62 damage? Is that strong fusion? Great. So now we grab one of our other wings. Place down there. But first we kind of want the drops. So we want Mace Horn, Shield, Saber Horn, and we're gonna duplicate really fast. Okay. I had to drop some things because this only works if it's in the end of your inventory. That was some on-the-fly thinking. So now we have some very strong fused materials. We grab the arrows and the bow. So you gotta duplicate the bow. Wait, I didn't even catch that. Did he duplicate the bow? There's a very specific spot right there. We use the wing there, because if we stand on that red stuff too long, you will die. And now, save again here, because this is a very easy spot to die on, as their enemy is absolutely everywhere, but we have so many electric arrows, and now a triple shot bow. We can just absolutely destroy everything that stands in our path. Everyone dies. If you get hit by one of those ice things, ooh. Oh, that was close. If that bat hit him, he would be dead. Very nice. Grab an eyeball. Kind of want those other drops. Kind of useful for the boss rush. Because, like Breath of the Wild, if you don't fight all the bosses... duplicate the eyeballs really fast. If you don't fight all the bosses in the main game, then you will have to fight them in a boss rush at the end. So now, another scary cling to wall. So save, and look at that. Clean. That guy's kind of annoying, so we're just gonna ice him. This guy's also kind of annoying. And here there's some materials for building machines, including a rocket. Just drink the speed up. Now that we're done with the first set of major attack stuff. Grab those for a fight later. Drop down here. Oh! The gloom got him. The last save was at that drop. So, yeah, it's gonna have to be redone. This area is super hard casually when you have a whole bunch of gear. Okay, thankfully there was an autosave here. That was lucky. So, we only lost like 20 seconds. There we go. And now, of course, we do have a bit more health. Makes things easier. Ascend. Ascend, please. Perfect. Perfect setup. Oh, look. Enemy. And we don't care. Now, remember these rock weapons from earlier? We still have them. And squeeze right through, grab this chest, which has some bomb flowers. Very useful for the upcoming fights. Are we duplicating bomb flowers? No, we're putting it onto a shield, of course. Forgot about that. So the things we put onto the shield, the rockets and the bomb flower, those will both allow us to get a lot of vertical height. Remember, eyeballs are homing. These enemies are weak to elements. And drop bones. And these bones do 40 damage when... Oh, boom. Do 40 damage when fused to something. But they break in 1 or 2 hits. Thing is, so do arrows. Throw it onto an arrow, and now you have like a 50 damage arrow. Here's a cool thing that explains some lore if you didn't watch all the memories. Who cares? Just skip it all. And this is very reminiscent of the first few minutes that we skipped at the beginning of the game where you're just running. But it's much shorter. Now here we have another wall cling. Remember, I have not seen any of these wall clings. This is super impressive to me. Did take a bit of gloom damage. That's wild. So yeah, it is slightly slower in this part if you don't have the paraglider, but it saves so much time to just ignore that whole quest line to get it. Music's building up. It's spooky. You're approaching the final boss of the game. What are you gonna do? Well, what we're gonna do is not go on that platform. Do a save. Smart. And here we have Ganon. We have to... Oh! And that's why we have the save. You can't wall cling onto the actual wall? Interesting. I'm sure there's a reason for it. It's all this is super duper thought out. Let's do that again. This time let's not mess up. Wall cling. We were in the cutscene trigger, so it doesn't even matter that we were gonna die to our deaths. And now, there's like this whole thing where there's the army of Hyrule. Ganon's army. And we're just, that's every single... That's an entire army killed. And we're grabbing a quick weapon that they have. You know, these guys are actually decently geared up. Could use some of their stuff. We need another up. And using Lionel horns on arrows to take out that guy. And that's wave 1. So now we have wave 2, Lizalfos. Oh wow, I wonder how this is gonna go. So yeah, if you put a bomb onto your shield and shield surf onto it, it'll blow up that bomb, shooting you into the air. Okay, there's a few stragglers. Grab the gear, and then take out the last one. Great. Grab the weapons we need. Now, Gibdos. Again, these guys are weak to elements. They're super hard to beat without doing elemental damage. So, you know, elemental damage. Grab the bones that we can. Aw, didn't get the second. These are good on arrows. And then finally, the moblins. This is It's gonna go so much differently. Like, they stand so much of a chance. So yeah, we left one alive because we have to do a little bit of setup. Grab some Gibdo bones. Wings? They act just like the other wings. We're gonna do some fusions to the gear that we picked up, but with our Lino Hordes. Those Lino Hordes do a lot of damage. Throw out a bunch of swords and spears. That's a lot of DPS. We're gonna put a tail on here. What? I didn't even want to get down to 1 heart. Was that intentional? It seems like it was. Huh. So now we have a boss rush. Colgera, big flying thing. While we're here, we could grab a few more bones. Ready, and lift off. This guy, you just have to hit twice at each part, but we have a tri-shot bow, so we just have to shoot once. But those are kind of far away, so we were using wings, because wings make arrows fly further. And that was phase 1 done. I think I like two-faced this guy on my casual playthrough before even having a multi-shot bow. This guy's not hard. With a multi-shot bow, it's a joke. Link is in the air somehow. Doesn't matter. We just want to get under. We have our homing arrows, which make this very odd angle much more manageable. And that's boss. Yeah, because in phase 2, it's writhing around itself, and it makes it much harder. Does he have 5 minutes time save so far? Wow. So this guy, recall, stun, ascend. That's pretty much how you do this boss. Marbled Goma. These are super strong weapons. And 1 phase. Or phase 1. Done. 1 cycle for phase 1. So next, he's gonna throw some boulders, and we just move him out of the way. It's like, we don't even really use him. Just out of the way. We get to the back this time, because I'm pretty sure it'll knock us off the front if we go there. No, it's to stun it. Oh, that's smart. Gibdo bones. Tons of damage. That must be necessary because phase 2 probably knocks you off faster. Smart. Alright. Muktarok. This guy you just shoot with water. Few times, and then this guy, he comes out. He's a really annoying boss to fight casually, because he goes around everywhere. But, basic choo-choo jelly acts as water. So we could just, shoot it a few times with that. Which is why we took our time to grab him earlier. Oh, missed a shot. Still super duper impressive. We get up. Away! No. And our weapon does just so much damage. And that's another boss. We have one more. The Queen Goma, or Gibdo. This guy acts like the regular Gibdos. Weak to elemental. We just get it down, do tons of damage to it. We just drop the almost broken bow. Not even worth it. So yeah, we did duplicate the bow earlier. That I did not catch that. Alright, watch this. Remember, we set up the other bomb shield earlier? And you're supposed to, like, get rid of all of these minions around it. You just don't. Oops. You just don't. And then just attack the queen and all the others die with it. Super easy. That shield you saw got us into the air. So we passed the 1 hour mark. And now we have the last main boss. I always forget this is here. I forget that there's 5. The Seized Construct. Now, when you do this casually, doing all the story stuff, when you originally fight it, it's supposed to be, you're supposed to have your own mech, just like it. And it's a mech fight. It's really cool. But here, you don't have the mech, because you never did any of the story stuff. So we have Lizalfo Tail, which extends out when you do an attack, making a huge area of damage, which we use to knock it into these fences with spin attacks, which do plenty of damage, as you can see, and we can get 2 in a row. So now it's like, oh no, what's it gonna do? Another 2 arms? Oh no, there's gloom going to those arms. Oh, I'm so intimidated. You just do the same thing again. It launches into the air. We just don't care. More damage. I'm using the fire arrows because the fire can stun it. Huge area of damage with the tail. Ready and fire! Stunned and into the wall. That's the fight done. And that is the boss rush over. Oh yeah, Phantom Ganon. Forgot about Phantom Ganon because, well, that's phase 1. It's supposed to be like, oh yeah, a handful of just hard enemies all at once. Oh, this is so difficult. Just spam them with arrows. It's like, oh no, they're back. But now, they kind of make it hard to stand next to them. Oh, if only we were doing close-up damage. We have just enough topaz to finish it off. It is so close. We grab, there's like a whole bunch of materials on the ground. Okay. Time to fight Ganon. We still have speed up. Yeah, we did that all without attack up food. Yeah, it's just a slow part here. Just good stamina management. There's really not much to say. But then, boss fight. I don't know why they make you walk that. I guess if you want to collect all the materials from the fights. Maybe. But we don't. Yeah, we got this, even without the Master Sword. I really love the Ganondorf fight because it feels like you're fighting another Link. He can also do flurry rushes and stuff. It's cool. But we won't really give him much time to show that off. As you can see, he just... Yeah, he doesn't even get a chance to. That was super nice. That's Ganondorf done. Now we fight Demon King Ganon. And his health is super long. That was a cool moment. I love that. Now heal. Nope, not dodge. Should have enough health to need to dodge this time. And there's some Phantom Ganons that do nothing. Why is he just taking all the damage? Dude, why? This is cool. Oh yeah. all my minions that just stood there. To me, now I'm more powerful, right? Yeah. Come and get me. This is a cool fight. I feel like there could have been another cutscene or two before it, just casually. And like remix of the Calamity Ganon theme. Blundering a little bit. These attacks are hard to flurry rush. I don't blame him for missing that one. And look, he'll dodge out of the way. It's like, oh no! No, you just do it again. Oh, if only we had another. Oh wait. Spears are so busted with Fuse, because the whole thing in Breath of the Wild is that they're weak but attack super fast. Here, they're not weak but attack super fast. The spear is almost as powerful as the powered up Master Sword from Breath of the Wild. And it's a spear. So now, there's one more split, I believe. Ganon, story stuff, super spoilers. He turns into a dragon. It's cool. It's an earned moment, but it's also not. But the loading time, okay. I'm glad it's not just my Switch. It took forever to load. And also, I was like, oh, if you don't get the Master Sword in the game, how do you do this? Because they make it very clear you need the Master Sword to beat him. They just give you the Master Sword. It's like, oh yeah, there it is. Not that it matters, because like Breath of the Wild, once you beat the game, you just go back to the autosave just before you go to the fight, so you don't get none of your stuff that gets broken or used up. You don't get the Master Sword. Getting the Master Sword was cool, though, in this game. It was definitely a lot better than Breath of the Wild. Shiny, weird Master Sword. What's weird about the Master Sword, though, is that it doesn't show how much damage it does. And though you can fuse it to stuff, it doesn't always display the fuse. It is really weird. But you got the Master Sword. Cool, cool, cool. Time to fight Dragon Ganon. Surprised how fast. The cutscene really should have been extended. It was like, oh, you beat me. I'm this now. It's like, oh, you're not gonna pull it out. Yeah, the description of the video says awful dragon. Assuming that means he messes up quite a bit on the dragon. That doesn't matter. It's more of a cinematic fight. Just if you could get the cycles. It is just a cinematic fight. See, you jump down. You find these orby things. Oh yeah, because we don't... Interesting, it doesn't take fall damage. I didn't even think about that. We get shot off. The light dragon's like, yo, I'm here. You get shot back up into the sky and you repeat. So I'm just gonna skip forward through that buffer thing since you have paraglide on. Interesting, okay. And you get the tier. But that's not time. There's a quick time event, but it's not quick time at all. You just do it. It's just a cutscene button press. Ready. And not time. Still not time. There's one segment left. We skip some cutscenes. And skip more cutscenes. And randomly, oh, Link's falling. How is he falling? Where's the dragon? Oh, look, it's the theme song. Oh, look, it's Zelda. Why did she get here? Why did Zelda get here? And you just skydive down to her. And as soon as he reaches out for Zelda, that's time. Zelda's lullaby. The music is so great. But yeah, that is Tears of the Kingdom, 90% world record. It's gonna be cut down. This is not gonna stand as the world record for too long. Like, we have a faster duplication glitch. Dragon can be optimized a bit more. He took some deaths. Like, it's an amazing run. Do not get me wrong. I'm gonna try speedrunning this game, but I could not get close. But it's gonna get lower. Sub-hour? Using the current route? I don't think so. But yeah, if you want... If you want more info about any of the glitches, I recommend just searching them up on YouTube. There are plenty of tutorials for most of them. Or joining the Tears of the Kingdom speedrunning Discord. They're the ones who find the glitches. So yeah, that's the video. Thank you all so much for watching. See you all later. Bye.